nigga crew running behind him to stop this nigga is he official. They ain't want no smoke with.
In LA, gang politics run deep, especially with groups like the Crips who expect every rapper touching down in the city to check in. It's not a request, it's a demand. And for a lot of artists, it turns into a setup, a confrontation, or worse. But when they pull that move on DMX, they quickly realize they were messing with the wrong one.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry. The United States of America and all these countries have what is called airspace. If you invade their airspace with a plane, they consider that an act of war. You can choose not to, and it's gonna be a problem. If dudes come and you move it in a certain way, if you choose not to check in, suffer.
This ain't just any rapper we're talking about. DMX was built different, wild, fearless, and known for being downright unpredictable. The man had seen more jail cells and hotel rooms at one point. Prison wasn't a punishment. It was routine. The whole checking game has been used for years as a quiet form of extortion. Some gangs straight up tax rappers for protection or clout. They even gave the hustle a name, checking in. Just listen to Big U, one of the most feared names in this whole system, who's currently locked up himself. That says everything. Big U didn't mince words. He straight up said it's mandatory for rappers to check in when they land in certain cities. He even tried to explain it with a wild analogy, comparing gang territory to military airspace. Like, you can't just fly over without clearance. Seriously. But here's the problem. People started noticing that this whole checking game only seems to target black rappers and celebrities. Let that sink in. These gangs are out here gatekeeping their own community, turning hometown pride into some twisted form of control. And when they tried to play that game with DMX, big mistake. You couldn't pull that type of power move on a beast like DMX. He wasn't scared of jail, danger, or anything in between. He lived off chaos. This man was raw, unfiltered, and didn't follow rules. He broke them. Just ask Fat Joe. He once told a story about the time he, DMX, and Big Pun had just wrapped up a show and made a quick stop at a gas station. Out of nowhere, some dude walks in with a flashy chain. Without hesitation, DMX snatched that chain right there on the spot. No warning, no words. That's the type of time he was on. And if that wasn't enough, comedian Ari Spears got his own tale, too. He says he was just trying to promote his comedy CD at an event. And what happened next? Oh, just wait. It only gets wilder.
So, me, him, and Big Pun in Brooklyn. And after the show, we stopped at the gas station. Meanwhile, the whole crowd was just going, stop, shut him down, open up, chop, oh. Like, DMX was crazy.
So, here's where things got real. Ari Spears was out here pushing his comedy CD, asking celebrities for support, including DMX. But what Ari forgot was that DMX wasn't exactly a fan of people impersonating him, especially not for laughs. And Ari's had been doing those gritty DMX impressions for years. Well, DMX wasn't laughing. According to Ari's, things went left fast. Almost 30 dudes followed him into the room, forming a tight circle around him and DMX. Then, bam, the bodyguard slammed the door shut and parked himself right in front of it like a guard dog. No way out. DMX stared Ari's down and started grilling him about the impression. Ari's tried to play it cool, saying it was all in fun. No disrespect you or nothing like that. Then, as if that wasn't tense enough, Ari's tried to shift the vibe and handed over his CD just like he had been doing with other celebs. But DMX didn't let it slide. Instead, he leaned in and said, "Come to my hotel later. Let me hear it. If it's good, cool. If it's not," and then growl like a damn wolf. That wasn't even the worst part. What really shook Ari's to his core. DMX casually pulled a razor blade out from under his tongue. Like, who even hides that there? After that display, Ari said he never showed up to that hotel. Can you blame him? And it's not just Ari's with war stories. Jay Farrow got hit, too. He said DMX was so hyped during a live show, throwing fists in the air, that he accidentally clocked him right in the face mid-performance. And that's just scratching the surface. There was a moment DMX had rappers literally running for their lives. Memphis Bleak once shared a wild story from back in the day. Bad Boy Records was out in Miami just vibing on the beach, when out of nowhere, Maze pulled up on a scooter. Seems harmless, right? But the second DMX laid eyes on him, he snapped and took off chasing Maze right there on the sand. Bleak had never even met DMX before and was straight up stunned. Like, who was this dude?
We on stage, right? And we doing Party Up and we killing it, you know what I'm saying? DMX accidentally snuffs me. That's some real shit. I was like, wow, this nigga's knuckles is hard as a motherfucker.
DMX accidentally.
He accidentally snuffed me.
How?
He just...
Is he just going out?
No, look. 1, 2, now. He hit me.
Right,
Oh, shit. I was like, God.
That moment showed everything you needed to know about DMX. He didn't play tough. He was tough. He didn't care about clout, about labels, or even about gangs. If he had a problem with you, he handled it face to face. No fear, no filter. That exact same energy carried over to his beef with Corrupt. Now, Corrupt wasn't just a rapper. He was tied in with the Crips and managed by Big U, one of the top figures in the Rollin' 60 set. But DMX didn't flinch. He wasn't impressed. He didn't care who was backing you. Things got so heated that Corrupt eventually became the target of a hit that ended in tragedy. 2 of his bodyguards lost their lives and Corrupt barely got away. The street started whispering and fast. Folks began saying DMX might have had something to do with it. And then honestly, given his reputation, a lot of people believed it. To really understand this madness, you got to rewind to the early 90s. Back then, DMX had New York's underground on lock. Meanwhile, Corrupt and his Day One Daz Dillinger were just getting started. In 1992, both of them signed with Death Row Records, and that's when things really started heating up between East and West. Corrupt and Daz weren't just collaborators. They were street-certified and deeply tied into LA gang culture. Corrupt repped the Rollin' 60s Crips, while Daz held it down for the Rollin' 20s Crips out of Long Beach. Together they formed the Dog Pound. And it wasn't long before they expanded into something way bigger. The Dog Pound Gangster Clique. That crew was stacked with legends. Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, RBX. Straight heavy hitters from the Death Row era.
Get back here. Wait till I catch you, nigga. So, you know me, I'm in the back seat like, what happened between him and Mace? Like, who is this nigga? And nobody in this nigga crew running behind him to stop this nigga. So I'm like, whoever this nigga is, he official. They ain't want no.
Their first major splash came in 1992 when they popped up on Dr. Dre's iconic album, The Chronic. That project flipped the entire sound of West Coast rap and gave the Dog Pound serious momentum. Then in 1993, they doubled down, playing a huge role in Doggy Style, Snoop's legendary debut. Corrupt and Daz were everywhere on that album. From bars to skits, locking in their status as key soldiers in the Death Row Army. By 1994, it was time for the Dog Pound to take the main stage. Their debut rollout started with the single What Would You Do? And that track hit hard. It stirred controversy, got heavy radio play, and even earned a Grammy nomination in 1996 for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. These weren't just hype men anymore. They were stars. Then came the full album Dog Food, released on Halloween 1995. The streets were waiting and it exploded on impact. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, moving over 270,000 copies in just its first week. No gimmicks, no features needed. It was raw, real, and West Coast to the core. By 1996, Corrupt's personal life started making headlines. 2, because that's when he got involved with none other than Brooke. Yep, that Brooke. And trust, that relationship would bring a whole new level of drama. West Coast rapper Corrupt was locked in with Foxy Brown. Yeah, that Foxy. And by 1997, they were engaged and all over the place. But while they were flaunting couple goals, things on the East Coast were heating up in a whole different way. That's when DMX started his explosive rise. He signed with Def Jam, and in February 1998 dropped Get At Me Dog. The track was raw, gritty, and straight up ferocious. It hit number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100, letting the whole industry know that DMX wasn't here to play. He was here to take over.
Rebirth. He's finna give you back what he always been. A beast on the mic with the vocals that can't nobody touch. He gonna make you go get the dictionary to understand every word he just